Hello, welcome back everyone. Now we are starting the teaching on the Heruka Vajrasattva meditation practice. This has two. One is the meditation on Vajrasattva itself on your crown, and second is reciting the Heruka Vajrasattva mantra and then combine the mantra recitation with the 7 visualizations. So first of all, when you start the Vajrasattva meditation, like all sadhanas, you always take refuge and generation of bodhichitta. The first one is a generation taking refuge in the triple gem, and it's very important. Taking refuge in the triple gem is renewing the foundation of your pratimoksha vows. Pratimoksha is individual liberation vows of Theravada level practices. And so doing the refuge 3 times also proves that this deity yoga is a Buddhist practice because it has refuge in the first. So it shows that we are not on a wrong path but correct path of the Buddha Dharma. Second is generation of bodhicitta, that is developing altruistic motivation, that you are going to do the practice for the benefit of all sentient beings as a Mahayana Buddhist practice. The reason to generate the bodhicitta as Mahayana Buddhist practice is that even though you are in a correct path, but even within correct path, some are low path, some are high path. So we don't want to go into the mistaken path of seeking liberation for oneself. So in order to reject that, one is generating bodhicitta as to prove that this is soundly based on the Mahayana, and also it reinforces your bodhisattva vows. So with these pratimoksha and bodhisattva vows are necessary foundations for all Vajrayana practices. So therefore, it is very important to do even short refuge and bodhicitta prayers, and together with the 4 immeasurable 3 times each before you do the Heruka Vajrasattva meditation. So that will suffice as a preliminary. So all other preliminary practice also, you always must do refuge and bodhicitta, and then you also do other practice like Guru Yoga or Mandala offering or whatever. So refuge and bodhicitta are mandatory preliminaries to all other preliminary practices. So that's that. Now to come to the main part of the Vajrasattva meditation. First is, where do you meditate Vajrasattva? Vajrasattva, you meditate instantly and on the top of your crown. So it says in the text, in an instant on my head. So you remain your ordinary conventional form, which is most relevant to stay. So this is unique practice where you do not become Vajrasattva, but you become the seat of Vajrasattva, if you like. And so you are on top of your crown. There is a stem of lotus flower of the Vajrasattva goes into your crown as a funnel, goes into your crown chakra, and then about a couple inches above that is the lotus. The lotus represent the relative bodhicitta of Vajrasattva, and then on top of that moon disk represent the ultimate bodhicitta. This is the skillful of Vajrayana practice, using the Mahayana's Buddhist practice of relative and ultimate bodhicitta in the form of lotus and moon disk. So on top of the moon disk, you visualize blessed one Vajrasattva. So here the Vajrasattva is Heruka. Heruka Vajrasattva is Heruka has a necessarily covered in bone ornaments, and one who has a consort. And the non-Heruka Vajrasattva is the Heruka without the Vajrasattva without the consort, and his ornament is all not bone ornaments, all made out jewel ornaments. So that's the difference between common Vajrasattva without the consort and without bone ornaments, and Vajrasattva himself is with the consort, as you can see, and also bone ornaments. The bone ornaments are not often very depictable on tankas and statues, because if the statue itself is white color, and the bone ornament doesn't really look revealing. But you need to visualize the bone ornaments. So anyway, I'll come to that. So you visualize on top of your crown. I usually, when I meditate Vajrasattva, I put my bell on my head, because it keeps me aware that on top of my head is Vajrasattva. Of course, I have not just a bell. I have Vajrasattva and his consort sitting. So it's very important for practitioners to sit very still and feel the constant presence of Heruka Vajrasattva on top of your head. And then the rest of the iconographical detail is his body is white in color. The white represents purity, and he has one face and two hands. Right hands hold Vajra, that's Vajra, and left hand hold bell, and both of which he embraces like this, and his consort is between two hands, so she's embracing. And holding Vajra represents the compassion, and holding the bell represents the wisdom. So these two hand symbols of Vajrasattva represent compassion and wisdom. The first 5 paramitas is compassion, and last paramita is wisdom. These are Vajrayana skillfully visualized in form of a substance, Vajra and a bell. So he's embracing the consort. And he is covered in 6 bone ornaments. The 6 bone ornaments consists of the crown, and then the necklace and earrings, and as well as a long necklace with the wheel of Dharma here and laced together, and as well as armlets and girdle and bone apron and anklets and bone rings on the toes. All together, one's body is covered in 6 bone ornaments. All these 6 bone ornaments represent perfection of 6 paramitas. That's kind of a sutric level. Also, the 6 bone ornament represent that he is completely guarding his speech, guarding his hands. So he's complete abstaining from the antithesis of the 6 paramitas. So bone also means that the Heruka Vajrasattva is one who realizes complete emptiness of self, ego. So therefore boneless, bone means no flesh, no blood there. So bone represents also emptiness, okay? So he is adorned by 6 bone ornaments. And then he sits in cross-legged Vajra posture, that's cross-legged full Vajra posture. And on top of his crown is a small thumb-sized Heruka Vajrasattva, identical to himself, the lord of the family it's called. And a consort that he's embracing, one is consort Vajra Garvi. Vajra Garvi in Tibetan means Dorje Nyema, which means adamantine suppleness. Suppleness means that the goddess Vajraneratma represents wisdom. wisdom makes our mind very supple and very, very flexible. Yeah. So when we don't have wisdom, our mind is very rigid and stiff. So Vajragarvi, there are many different names. Okay, here is Vajragarvi. She is also white color. Her right hand is holding a curved knife, Vajra handle curved knife, and meaning she is severing the ego. And left hand is holding skull cup filled with nectar. And she is wearing only 5 bone ornaments because she herself represents the 6th bone ornament, the perfection of wisdom. So that's why Vajragarvi carry only 5 bone ornaments. And then, so you need to therefore visualize very clearly on top of your crown, Heruka Vajrasattva and consort. And then on the top of the heart of the Heruka Vajrasattva is a moon disk. On the top of Heruka Vajrasattva is a moon disk, and the moon disk is white disk color, and on top of the center of the moon disk is Sri Silbo Hung, and then it's surrounded by Heruka Vajrasattva mantra. This is all happening on top of your head, And then rays of light shine from the Heruka's heart, and this goes out the 10 directions. So when you're reading this description, that's what you visualize. Rays of light shine out, and these rays of light shine and invoking, magnetizing all the positive energy from the Mother Nature, from human beings, from the Devas, from enlightened ones, particularly mind of all the Tathagatas. If you're just captivating, magnetizing all the mind of the Tathagatas are invoked, and they all absorb back into the heart of the Heruka Vajrasattva in the form of a nectar. Nectar just completely get magnetized, if you like a fountain, goes into the Vajrasattva's heart, and then this nectar goes into the Sri Silbo Hung in his heart. When that's happening, then we point our hands and join hands like this, and then make a prayer. It says in the sadhana, O Vajrasattva, so you call upon the Vajrasattva, cleanse and purify, I pray, all of my misdeeds. The misdeeds refers to any wrongdoings of our body, speech, and mind. And the mental obscuration refers to the post-misdeeds thoughts and feelings of guilt and resentment and upset and hurt and grief. All these mental obscurations are subsequent to misdeeds, mental obscuration. And faults refers to the conventional faults in social norms. What society doesn't expect us to behave. We have done something wrong. That's called faults. Now, failings refers to actual vows you have promised, whether they're civil vows or pratimoksha vows or bodhisattva vows or vajrayana vows. Any failings means transgression. Any vows you deliberately yourself took and you have transgressed, lots of people feeling very guilty and feel unproud. These are failings, result of failings. So you're listing them: misdeeds, obscuration, faults, and failings. And all of these 4 are caused by defilements. Because of greed, desire, hatred, anger, jealousy, arrogance, under the sway of these defilements, we commit negative karma. So we need to consciously admit that when you join the hands, and then speak to the Buddha in the form of Vajrasattva, saying, I. So not only you feeling very, very guilty of your own misdeeds. No, you're doing on behalf of all sentient beings. That's why it says that I and all sentient beings have accumulated since beginningless samsara. So therefore you need to be very inclusive. Maybe some people have done wrong with you, against you. You don't exclude them. You also feel sorry for them. They committed wrong deeds because of your influence. So you be inclusive, that they are with you. You are doing for them, with them, in the presence of all the Buddhas. So you're not the kind of only practitioner who's confessing his deeds in the little room. That's not going to work. You've got to be Mahayana, as inclusive as possible, as the wording suggests, I and all sentient beings. Those who are angry with you, those who you are angry with your friends, those who are not getting on with your mother-in-law or father or sister, just you don't know what to do because their disharmony really is so painful, so sad, and so difficult, so much suffering. And yeah, just bring them all guilt and sadness and hurt on behalf of everyone. You wholeheartedly make this request. This is very important. You have to make a Mahayanist, Mahayanism is a great vehicle. You don't do it just for yourself. This will not benefit. So you know to be as big as what the teaching is, Mahayana, for big heart, for the sake of all beings, particularly those who each other have a lot of hate and anger and misunderstanding. Feel so sorry, and then you are requesting Vajrasattva wholeheartedly. And then you are requesting, I and all sentient beings who have accumulated such misdeeds from however long way in the past, since the beginning of the samsara. And so this is very inclusive. You've got to say these words until tears well in your eyes and your hair stands on end. You need to be moved. You need to be moved. The intention is very important. So with this in mind, you make a request, and of course Vajrasattva on top of your crown is listening to your sincere request. After that, then what happens? Seed sulbu hung, where everything starts, from the hung, nectar flows. So now the nectar flows from Heruka Vajrasattva. The nectar flows means nectar floods. Nectar floods his whole body. Heruka Vajrasattva's whole body is flooded with nectar. Then from his body it floods his consort's body. His consort body is completely inundated and flooded by nectar. This nectar has amazing cooling, warming, healing, soothing effect. In both Heruka and his consort body is completely filled. Then the nectar slowly enters through your crown, through the funnel, remember? Funnel, through the lotus stem. And then it goes into the drips down through outside of your body as well as go down inside. And then it goes away. It goes and floods your whole body. 170,000 channels are all purified and inundated. And then that's the main visualization. There are 7 visualizations. You have 7 visualization. Each 7 visualization you do at least 3 mantras. Recite the Vajrasattva mantra 3 times. During that first mantra recitation, you do the first visualization. These are divided into 2 groups. First is called 3 common visualizations, and last 4 is 4 uncommon visualizations. So these 7 visualizations are what you need to really know how to do properly. So first of these 7 visualizations are the 3 common visualizations. The first 3 common visualization is the cleansing and healing of illness. Now for this, the illness, doesn't mean your personal illness only, okay? You may be completely healthy, but you have a lot of sentient beings who have terrible illnesses, just imagine. And so you're using your body as the main kind of portal to purify all the illnesses of the world. So here the teaching, the commentary here says you can do 3 kinds of visualization for cleansing illnesses. They are usually what we call in Tibetan Buddhism. You have hot illnesses, cold illnesses, weak illnesses. So for the hot illnesses are usually due to hatred, due to a lot of ill will and resentment and emotional illnesses. So for the hot illnesses, wherever they are, your body from the top of your crown down to the toes, wherever they are, Imagine the nectar pours down like a torrent of nectar, white color nectar, which has a very white color nectar, and then because first one is the to cure the cold diseases like arthritis, like a lot of bone and the periphery diseases, swelling and all that. For that, you visualize nectar is a white color but very warm, warm color, warm texture nectar, completely inundates your body. Wherever you have cold disease, like swelling of the legs or joints or whatever it is, whatever. Imagine that the nectar is white color but warm, and your whole body is inundated and flooded by the white nectar, white and what do you call warm nectar, and it therefore pushes all your illnesses, like they are in the joints or the muscles or in the arteries, wherever. All these nectars, illnesses like little clotted blood or some kind of fluid, whatever, many colored, all of them are pushed down surgically, and then it goes down through your lower passages in form of pus and blood and all the things that illness represent. So that is for the hot, for the cold diseases. For the hot diseases, which is emotional disease, hatred and anger and all of that. So for that, imagine the nectar, same nectar is white color, but it has the nectar has a very cooling effect. All the cooling, very amazing, like ice, like a cooling effect, completely inundates your whole nervous system, and those relevant illnesses in the form of clotted blood or cyst or whatever negativity they push down comes out through your lower passage in the form of pus and blood and various kind of biological product that come down through that. And then the third visualization is for weakness, where people who are weak, for that you visualize nectar is color of oil, very warm, rich oil. Warm, rich oil nectar comes into your body, and it just get rid of all wind diseases. So there's hot disease, cold disease, wind disease. The last one is wind disease, and also comes out in the blood and pass through your lower passages. So with this in mind, you do the how to heal your whole body of all the illnesses. That's the first visualization, first of the three common visualization. So that's why in the text says illnesses. So that's to purify illnesses. Second common visualization is the evil spirits. So the evil spirits is that you visualize that inside the nectar, inside the very torrent of nectar, there are tiny wrathful Buddhas like Vajrapani, like Hayagriva, Amrita Kundalini, Vajrakilaya, tiny ones, as small as particles. They're all evicting everywhere. Your very hooked nooks and crooks in the whole nervous system. The nectar is jet-like nectar going out, and these tiny wrathful Buddhas go and get rid of all the trapped, evil spirits means your ill will, your resentment, your guilt, your doubt, and or maybe your friend's doubt, your friend's anxiety, their own guilt and sadness. You see, lots of people are evil spirits. Evil spirits are not some external evil spirits. They are rather ill will of ourselves that attracts the evil spirit. So to get rid of these tiny wrathful Buddhas pushes it away, and when it comes out through your lower passage of the body, it comes out in form of like tadpoles, very scorpion-like, very crab, very kind of venomous snakes, all these terrible, disgusting-looking creatures, creepy crawlers we call in Australia. All of them come out through your lower passages, and they represent ill will, anger, attachment, and doubt, all of those purified. So that's the second common visualization. It says evil spirit. Now the third common visualization is negative karma and obscurations. For these, you recite the mantra, the nectar comes down, your whole nervous system, you got to feel this, yeah? You got to see this, you got to witness this. Nectar pours down, and this time the nectar is very powerful, very jet-like nectar, and it purifies a dark, sooty liquid, deeply stained soot in your nervous system, pushed down and comes through your lower passages, the soles of feet, all the dark, sooty liquid oozes out. That represent all your karmic obscurations and addictions and bad habits, yeah, misdeeds, obscuration. So, and that is very dark, sooty liquid. So you need to see these colors and textures, each of the nectars and what they come out to represent the illness first, evil spirit second, and negative karmic habits third. Why do we visualize these three in this sequence? These three sequences, illness is already gross and ripe in karma. So therefore we do that first. Evil spirits are not ripened yet, but they are in the oven, so to speak. So the evil spirits will become future illnesses if we don't purify now. So that's we visualize second. Third one, we do the karmic obscuration. Karmic obscuration is very subtle, very, very subtle. That could be come from past lives or maybe years ago. Nothing to do with present life. So there are a lot of subtle ones. So for that you visualize this third visualization of the getting rid of karmic obscuration. So first you do these three visualizations and recite at least 3 mantras for each of the 3 visualizations. So that's 9 mantras. After you have done that, then you do the 4 uncommon visualizations. So first of all, it's very important if you can learn the mantra by heart. If you know the 100-syllable mantra by heart, then while you're reciting, you can just make sure mindfully which 3 mantras you're reciting, which visualization you're doing, and so on. Then you know that if you finish 9 mantras, you've done the first 3 common visualizations. Then the next 12 mantras, you do 3 lots of 4. So these 3 lots of 4, you do the first one is nectar. Now, during those first 3 mantras, your body has completely empty of the illnesses, evil spirits, and obscurity. Now it's like an empty bottle. Now the nectar, the first uncommon visualization, nectar pours down from your crown. Slowly it drips down into your crown chakra. It's like above your eyebrow, above your ears, above your nape, your inside and out. The nectar only goes that far, descends that far, and your head area feels so light, so absence of any problems. And with that in mind, your concentration should be right above the eyebrows. Nectar from the crown goes drip down. It's like condensed milk when you pour down. It slowly drips down, yeah? So it slowly drips down above your eyebrows, and your complete crown chakra feels inundated. So that is the first uncommon visualization. What is that? That is receiving of the vast empowerment. You receive the holy body empowerment, Vajrasattva. Your negative karma of body is eradicated. You renew your bodily karma of not harming sentient beings through violence, through aggression, or whatever. You instead have the moral duty to practice non-violence, compassion, and so on through your body. So thinking, and then all your vows, body vows, we call Kaya Wakachita, Kaya Vajras, vows has been renewed and restored. So with this in mind, imagine you have now received holy body blessings of Vajrasattva. With this in mind, you recite 3 mantras. You receive the seed of the Nirmanakaya has sown into your mental continuum. So with this in mind, recite 3 mantras. And during those 3 mantra recitation, you should do, see, know, and feel. Do the mantra recitation, okay? See the nectar coming from your crown all the way to your eyebrows, and visualize and feel that you have amazing blessing happening in your crown chakra. And so you do the mantra, know what's happening, see the visualization, feel these things. And these things are blessings of the Buddha. These things will change you, has changed you already. With such a confidence, without any doubt, you need to be saying the mantra and doing the recitation. So that's the first empowerment. During the second empowerment, which is the secret empowerment, nectar now descends, pushes from the crown, down from your eyebrows, into the temple of your forehead, in your eyes, and the ears, your jaw, your gum, your teeth, your tongue, your throat, your chin, all the way up to your throat chakra. And imagine you feel this amazing healing spreading, concentrated just above your throat chakra and above your head. And this is sign of you receiving the secret empowerment. Secret empowerment meaning the speech empowerment. Your speech is never going to become an instrument of harm to others. You will never going to say harsh, hurtful, divisive, negative words. But your speech is blessed. You can only say kind, compassionate, wise, encouraging words. And so therefore your mouth karma is completely restored. Your karma of speaking bad words are completely changed. You are tight-lipped as ever. And you receive the holy speech blessings. Speech blessings. Blessings, that blessings mean changing your speech to become positive. And seed of Sambhogakaya has sown into your mental continuum. It has especially sown the seed so that one day you will turn the wheel of Dharma. In the meantime, you're never going to make your speech become an instrument of harm to any living beings. So all the fundamental Buddhist precepts of abstaining, bad mouthing is empowered. With these in mind, you do the mantra recitation. You see the visualization. Yeah? You feel the experience of transformation. You make a mental pledge that you have renew your verbal vows, how to behave yourself. And so that is the second uncommon visualization, receive the secret empowerment. Now the third uncommon visualization, nectar now pushed down from the crown, from the forehead to the throat. Now the nectar slowly descends through your throat chakra, to your collarbones, to your shoulders, to your upper arms, to your rib cage, and slowly come down into your chest and above your heart chakra. And you just feel completely cool, indescribable, soothing experience. You've got to really so present in meditation. You can't afford to be distracted or be dull. You've got to be so well acquainted with this practice. You know the mantra by heart. You've heard these teachings. I can permit the YouTube and all that to be kept so that people can watch again. So the nectar comes out your heart chakra. Your whole upper torso feels very light. This is sign of you receiving the holy mind empowerment of Vajrasattva. Your mind becomes mind of Vajrasattva. You don't have the same ill thoughts and opinions that previously you used to have. You completely lost them. You have received the mind of Vajrasattva, and you have the DNA of the mind of Vajrasattva. All of your Chitta Vajra vows of your mind are restored. Seed of the Dharmakaya has sown, and you become fortunate, and you will see all things from now on as a mere illusion. Never see anything as real and permanent and truly existing, because you have now got the mind with the right view. You're always in the meditative state of emptiness. So with this you receive the third empowerment. Third empowerment. Third empowerment. Third empowerment up to your heart chakra. So that's the third uncommon visualization. Now the last uncommon visualization. Nectar pushes down from the above, and then it comes down through up to your heart, and then from the heart it goes to navel chakra. From navel chakra it goes to your lower chakra, to your legs, to your thighs, to your ankles, all the way. Your whole body is completely inundated. Your body feels so light. It's like each of your hair pores are marked by dewdrops of nectar. Internally, you're completely inundated by the nectar. This is the sign that you have received the fourth empowerment. That means your body, speech, mind are comprehensively purified, and all your transgressions of the root and the branch vows are restored, and the seed of the attaining siddhi are now germinated, and the seed of realizing the swabhavakaya is actualized. And with this in mind, you need to stay very present and do the mantra at least 3 times. Know what you're supposed to be thinking, seeing, and feeling, and feel the experience of your body being almost light as a cotton wool, and seeing all the misdeeds that we committed, the others committed, as illusion, do not really truly exist. So with this in mind, you recite the mantra 3 times. So in this way, you do the Heruka Vajrasattva on top of your crown. You yourself is ordinary form, but now being blessed by doing this 7 meticulous visualization in that order. And as a result of you doing this mantra recitation, of course, you recite the mantra. You use the mantra recitation as the medium through which the cleansing and purification of your negative karma happens. Now, when you do the mantra recitation, that verbal mantra recitation should be very clear, precise, not too hurried, not too slow, not too quick, not too slow. And also don't do the mantra merely musical reasons. Some people chant mantras loudly but don't do any visualization. They're almost tapping their feet when they recite mantra. Because Vajrayana is not musical prayer, Vajrayana is much more meditative. You got to recite the mantra sometimes whisperingly, not necessarily out loud. If you're feeling dull, sometimes recitation can be done a little bit out loud. But primarily mantra recitation is like a walking stick. With the aid of the walking stick, you aim to walk, isn't it? Likewise, with the aid of mantra recitation, you know which of the 7 visualizations you're doing, and you also do that with the bodhichitta motivation, very, very for the sake of other sentient beings. With this in mind, wholeheartedly, you spend good about 20 minutes reciting the mantra 21 times, and you bring the 4 things into the path: form, blessings, devotion, and result. Form is the Vajrasattva externally, and the nectars, colors, textures, and healing effect. Those are the forms, bringing form into the path. And then devotion is, you need to not just visualize the things, but you need to think these are resultant blessings of the Buddhas. So therefore you should feel very devoted, as that was you have to have total belief in that. So bringing devotion to the path, and bringing blessing into the path. As a result of this, each of your physical illnesses, each of the physical illness of someone else, and so on. Oh, bless, change, heal. You got to believe in it. They call faith healing. You got to believe in that as you recite the mantra. So form, devotion, blessing, and the result is you completely change. You physically change, behaviorally, verbally change, habitually, attitudinally change. You wake up, basically, you completely changed. With that certitude and confidence, you need to do the Heruka Vajrasattva mantra. It says here, while washing away illnesses, evil spirit, misdeeds, obscuration, which pass through my two law passages and the soles of feet, of course, the pus and blood is for the illness, evil spirits in the form of repulsive looking creatures for the evil spirit, smoky liquid and that for the misdeeds. Then my body is then completely filled with nectar. The last sentence, my body is completely filled with the nectar, represent the 4 uncommon visualizations. 4 uncommon visualizations starting from the crown to the forehead, forehead to the throat, throat to the heart, heart to the rest of the body. That's the complete body is filled by nectar. So while with this mantra, with this visualization, you need to do the Heruka Vajrasattva mantra 21 times minimum. Now this, you should not see this as a kind of a burden or commitment. You should see this as empowerment. This will greatly power you. This will give you power. This will give you wisdom. This will give you compassion. This will give you power of forgiveness. Previously, you couldn't forgive other people. This will give you moral authority to forgive others. This will give you power to confess wholeheartedly. Previously, you were impeded, you are held. You want to forgive, but you will not today, not tomorrow, not next. And so never end up forgiving anybody. See? So Vajrasattva practice needs to empower you, to change you karmically. Your karma can only be purified if we took liberty and change within our hand. We got to know what to adopt and what to drop. What bad things we have to drop, what good things we have to adopt. So this will make me now to talk about the 4 powers. If you do those 4 things bring into the path, which I mentioned, form, devotion, blessings, and result, is really similar to the 4 powers. The 4 powers are a power of reliance. First is power of reliance. Power of reliance is the refuge and devotion into the practice of Vajrasattva. You need to have so much faith that after receiving this empowerment tonight, you are completely motivated to do this practice. You get up early in the morning or you stay up late the night, that you are now power of reliance. You completely rely on this practice and you do not resort to any other things. Anyway, at least not in substitute of this. You really put this practice so important. You need to take refuge in Vajrasattva practice and wholeheartedly. That's called power of reliance. And you confess your misdeeds and you confess on behalf of others who couldn't confess in front of the Vajrasattva and the refuge object. That's called power of reliance. Second is called power of regret. Power of regret is the internal sense of remorse, that you really feel as if you have mistakenly drank some poison and then you quickly want to vomit, isn't it? So likewise, you are here to do Vajrasattva practice, feel unproud of the past, our habits and behavior, but we are resolute. We are so painful inside, we want to take up Vajrasattva practice. That is called power of regret. You have to do the visualization, daily mantra recitation, memorize the Vajra mantra, and even to do this empowerment tonight, you are here powered by need to change your karma. Your karma is stagnant. It's not moving. It's repeating the same mistake again and again too many times. This is so sad. That's why people need to take refuge. That's a power of reliance. You take refuge in the triple gem, you change. Power of reliance. Second is power of regret. Then you try not to repeat anything that you used to do in the past. You make a promise not to do. So that's the third one, is power of promise. Power of promise is that that you try to change yourself. Purifying karma means you need to deliberately take a stock, what you should keep, what you should throw away. So in terms of behavior, in terms of habits. So promising not to do that again, promising not to speak like that to anyone, or behind their back, or in front of other people, promising that you recite the mantra regularly, do the Vajrasattva practice regularly, promise you will practice small acts of kindness and never otherwise. That's the third one, is power of promise. Power of promise. And the fourth one is power of restoration. Power of restoration is the boosting your confidence. You have completely repaired. You are restored. You have recovered. People do rehabilitation. You recover your morale. How? Vajrasattva says at the end of the practice, after you finish the 7 visualization, oh, deluded by ignorance, I have broken my sacred vows. So this is what you are actually acknowledging, the power of reliance to Vajrasattva. In the Guru and the Master, the highest Vajradhara, this is power of reliance. Deluded by ignorance, I have broken. That's the power of regret, And then power of regret and reliance expressed. Third one is power of promise, is that I confess all my transgressions of the root and branch. Root means the Vajrayana has 14 root vows and 8 branch vows. Of course, if you are not familiar, of course, this is just a list of things. Anything physically, verbally, mentally we do wrong that is against the teaching is the vows. So one is confessing them. This is power of regret. Power of regret. And then you cleanse and purify. I pray all my accumulation, negative deeds, obscuration, faults, failings, impurities. So when you say this, you are making power of promise, you are expressing power of reliance, and power of regret. And then the fourth one is power of restoration. How do you restore your mind? That Vajrasattva says from his mouth, oh, one of noble lineage. Vajrasattva comes and now speaks to you, that you who is a noble, not because you haven't done wrong things, but you acknowledge the wrong deeds. So one who acknowledges his own wrong deeds is a noble one. You are cleansed and purified of negative deeds, mental obscuration, faults, failings, impurities. From now onwards, you should not perform any negative thought. I imagine that Vajrasattva says these and accepted my confession. So that's the power of restoration. Vajrasattva gives you the reassurance that you are purified. Good on you. Move on. Never look back. You got to believe in that, and you will see the changes. And that's how you finish the practice. That's how you finish the practice, and you just stay very present, and you read through the text, try to see, feel, know, and experience these 4 power of reliance, power of regret, and power of promise means never to do any negative karma of the body. Non-virtuous deeds of the body. 3 non-virtuous deeds of the body is like, first is harming living beings, from small acts of harm to violence to killing. Second is a negative karma of removing, stealing, and being other people's property. And third is engaging in non-virtuous deeds of sexual conduct that are harmful, destructive, and inappropriate. So these, whatever habits that one has in the past, one makes a vow to stop them, drop them, and change them. So that's the power of promise. Likewise, you vow to practice the virtuous deeds of the speech. So first you drop the non-virtuous deeds of the habits of the body, bad mouthing, yeah, saying bad and ill will, harsh, divisive, and negative, and gossip, and he said that, she said that, all these kind of things one should not engage. So that is abstention from negative karma of speech. So that your negative karma will only purify that we consciously make a promise to drop some bad habits, pick some new good habits. That is what purifies the negative karma. That is the power of promise. And the third is the power of promising negative karma of the mind. That's thoughts. Most people in modern world are thought mismanagement. They have thought disorder. Outer behavior is very good, but thought-wise they have a lot of ill wills, a lot of jealousy, a lot of greed, a lot of resentment and despair, sadness, worries and anxiety. These are all negative karma of the mind. So here one makes a vow, make a promise, power of promise, not to do ill will, not to do covetousness, not to be jealous, but instead rejoice others and be respectful to others. Rejoice other people's diligence and good work, and never be envy or jealous of others. These are abstention of negative thoughts and adoption of positive thoughts. When you do that, that empowers you. That's why it's called power of promise or power of resolution. You resolve to change. Then the last one is power of restoration. By doing this, imagine that Vajrasattva gives you assurance, and as a result of that, then your practice concludes. Having said that, Vajrasattva and his consort Vajragarvi on top of your crown slowly dissolve into light. Vajrasattva and consort dissolve into light, and then they also dissolve into you, and your body become rainbow. Your body, ordinary body, has no corporal remains. They all become rainbow, and yet there is no physical remain left anymore. There's a rainbow, and rainbow also vanish, and there's this amazing luminosity of your mind and emptiness of your mind. There is non-duality of clarity, emptiness of mind, and that is the ultimate Vajrasattva meditation. And stay in that state for as long as you are able to do. So that is the very ultimate purification, meditating on the emptiness of negative karma, the doer, the object, the subject, the companion, all are interdependently originated. No one and nothing was created independently. Alas, by not knowing these, beings grasp to each other with resentment, and so you feel compassion to them and stay in that very deep meditative state. So in this way, it says here, if you recite the mantra, do the 7 visualization with bringing the 4 things into the path and bringing the 4 powers into the path, if you integrate all of these, and particularly not just daily meditation, if you were to soon engage in a retreat, the retreat is actually about 2 months. 2 months. If you do about 2 months, you will definitely have sign of experience. I told you my experience before. What are the signs of you can have is that you will have, in the meditation retreat, you see the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas all the time. Your dreams are always positive. And also sometimes you're dreaming that you're vomiting all the time. You're having a lot of diarrheas. You're vomiting with a lot of repulsive looking creatures coming out of your body. And you are always dreaming as you're bathing, always washing, always wearing immaculate white clothes, sometimes flying in the sky, honored by many people. And if you dream this, this means your Vajrasattva purification practice is now effective. This is not just esoterically saying science, but practically also, behavioral also, you will subjectively see your attitude is shifted towards someone. You no longer have the ill will towards the person, but instead you have compassion. You do not see him at fault at all. He too was mainly instigated by our own unskillful action. Poor thing. So you are able to think like this. These are real sign of purification. And so some practitioners, as I mentioned, while they doing Vajrasattva practice, they lots of illness come out. Lots of illness come, during the practice. And actually it's good. It's a sign of purification. So you should be not perturbed by that and see them as effectiveness of your practice. And then you, just as you've been visualizing the pus and blood and terrible things come out of your body, when they do come out, isn't it convincing? Well, this is my experience. This didn't happen just me, my colleague. There are 5 of us doing retreat. All 4 of us had the same identical experience of having boils all over our body while we were doing Vajrasattva. I was youngest, but all my other 3 colleagues, they were all senior, very realized monks, And we all have boils coming out of body. And took months to ripen and to press and make this pus come out. And we were so convinced that these are all the effectiveness of Vajrasattva practice. So this has been and is one of the most important preliminary practices. The Vajrasattva is not a kind of a deity some can choose to have. No, Vajrasattva is, everybody must have Vajrasattva. If they are Vajrayanist, they must all have Vajrasattva purification practice, whether they have the common Vajrasattva or this Heruka Vajrasattva. This Heruka Vajrasattva is belong to anuttarayoga tantra, and particularly concordant to do He Vajra, Vajrayogini, Chakrasambhara, Guya Samanja, Yamantaka, all anuttarayoga, Chakra, Kala Chakra, all of them have recommended to do this purification practice. Whether you have received the major empowerment or not, doing and learning to do the Vajrasattva practice in your everyday, so this sadhana that you have, sadhana itself is only 3 pages, and I've written about 3 other pages, which is the description of the 7 visualizations. So that's my own note that I have written, so to help me to visualize. So I've written down. So if you can do the practice very faithfully, I call them mindfully doing it, mindfully knowing what you're doing it, mindfully seeing what you're meant to be visualizing, and mindfully feeling the blessings. When you can bring all these 4 together, there is no way that you would not experience purification of your karma. Karma means action. You will have the ability to stop thinking particular way. You stop particular way you speak to people, about people, and you stop certain habits of drinking, alcohol, certain extreme physical habits that are harmful to you, your family, other. You previously could not drop your addiction. And some people eat very wrong food. So you can make a positive, dramatic changes once you do this. So that's why how Vajrasattva purifies karma. Vajrasattva doesn't purify your karma. You have to purify your karma. Vajrasattva is the medium of the gift of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in this form of practice. So don't misunderstand thinking an external deity who comes and purify your karma. It's not like that. But rather it is your own experience. Subjectively you can see the shift and change that you have discovered in you. And then you use the mantra recitation and Vajrasattva as the outer form of the practice. Deep down, it is changing you and resolving you and making yourself to become kinder to yourself and kinder towards other people, particularly kind towards others who are angry at us. That's the sign of purification. It's not so much how much wrong they do, but how much capacity of compassion and forgiveness we have. That is the Vajrasattva. So don't deify deity of Vajrasattva out there who will come and intervene you. It is more that we conscientiously realize what it takes to make the practice of visualizing Vajrasattva, and so that you can have tankas or statues or whatever to help to keep you on. But main thing is we need to make our mind Vajrasattva. It's the mind we have to make Vajra. Mind means Vajra, means unbreakable. Sattva means being. We have to make adamantine mind. It's not so much external deity, but rather your mind is not irascible. It cannot be drowned in water, cannot be burned by fire. Your mind is incredible once you know how to practice Vajrasattva. So therefore, I hope that all of you, after you have diligently have attended the empowerment and now the teachings, can actually sit up and do the Heruka Vajrasattva mantra, learn by heart, and then go through the sadhana. Sadhana is not very long, only 3 pages. So don't regard this as a burden or commitment, but a gift, a great sort of gift to yourself. And you find soon you will know the mantra by heart, and it wouldn't take for you a long time to do the practice very well. You can also use same Vajrasattva mantra when you are in a shower. You can turn on the shower and you are washing, actually ordinary physical hygiene, that normally people are very hygienic, but we are talking about how to become emotionally hygienic. You should turn on the shower and take the shower, not as ordinary shower, but a nectar from Vajrasattva, and then as we wash, while reciting the mantra, 100-syllable mantra, then you can take shower, if you can afford more than 10 minutes. Some places they say only 5 minutes shower. If you can take longer shower, fine. But do it with that visualization, not just ordinary washing. Washing inner emotional dirt, emotional gunk and negativities. Make a promise to wash them. So always if some bad thoughts or bad attitude comes, straight away say Om Vajrasattva Hung. Om Vajrasattva Hung. That's very powerful. If you remember to say Om Vajrasattva Hung, not necessarily audible to others, whatever thoughts, feelings, perceptions, attitudes, opinions that comes, you don't really need to have them. You straight away reject them. Say Om Vajrasattva Hung and get rid of those thoughts. It's like a short practice of Heruka Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva Hung. Straight away you regain your mental consciousness and you can greatly benefit, do this practice. So I think unless there's anything I have left out which is possible, those are the main key points of the teaching of Heruka Vajrasattva. So first you need to learn to do the sadhana yourself with the text. I'm sure the text can be sent to people, because the whole idea of giving empowerment is not just the ceremony, giving them the power to how to do the sadhana. And you do the sadhana, you short practice each day, and if say about a couple of months' time, if you are among those who know the mantra by heart and do the daily practice, you will see how your karma or your action, how you manage your time, how you don't manage your time will change, because Vajrasattva will change you for the better. And that's the promise. That's the power of promise you make. That's the power of restoration. You will feel dignified. You no longer feel angry at you or have hatred towards yourself. All of those things are when you are completely malnourished. Now you are rejuvenated. You have been completely mobilized by Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva is not some external God out there. That's your pure mind that is becoming indestructible, that is guided and guarded by the Dharma, and that you yourself are strongly motivated to take steps where not to go, where to go, when not to do, when what to do. So sometimes it's just kind of thoughts. Don't do ill will, do bodhichitta. Don't do greed, don't do generosity and contentment. When you are able to do that, you're so happy that you're no longer doing ill will. You're no longer doing grief and poor me anymore. That is the purification karma. Purification is not dipping your body in holy water. I mean, then you just dip in the holy water all the time. No, you need to consciously change your mind. It is said in the teaching, do not do any non-virtuous deeds. Do all that is wholesome deeds. Purify your mind. This is the teachings of the Buddha. So Vajrasattva basically is that very one verse. That one very verse in Sanskrit is called Sarva Papa Akaranam, means do no misdeeds. Kushalasha Upasambhada, meaning do all that is wholesome deeds. Sachit Upanda, so then purify your mind. Edam Buddhanum Shasanam. This is the teachings of the Buddha. It's purify your mind is the teachings of the Buddha. And Vajrasattva is a skillful way to purify your mind by visualization, by mantra, by dhyana, by teaching, by oral transmission. But in the end, it is same teachings of the Buddha. Buddha said, purify your mind. And this will prevent you doing harmful things with your body, speech, and mind. And also this will empower your body to do virtuous, wholesome, good deeds. And then you will get to purify your mind, and then you will have no ill will towards somebody. It's not their wrongdoing. It's your lack of enmity. That is the purification of karma. And how do you do that? You develop intelligent emotions. And Vajrayana practices it to quickly, swiftly develop these powerful tools of visualization through mantra recitation. So with this, I will conclude here, and we will do the dedication of merits, because you have been very diligent attending all 3 hours here at the beginning of the year. So it's a very good gift to yourself to take up some practice like this, and it will this will make you to be kind, generous, and patient, and cordial to your loved ones, to difficult people, and you will be able to benefit many sentient beings. So may you be well, may you be wise, and may you be even more disciplined to do this practice. So with this, I would like to thank all the people, every one of you, and all particularly the very kind translators and organizers, and Seva and Oleg and Juliana, everybody who has helped to make these things happen together. And this is we are separated geographically by many thousand miles, but we are all bonded together to do this practice, learn this together. So in the meantime, we will do the dedication of merits. If you could screen share that.
Thank you, dear Rinpoche. Yes, I will put on screen dedication merits prayer.
Thank you, everybody. Join your hands at the heart and deeply feel thankful, and make a little resolution for the new year, and at the beginning having a practice like this. So with
Yes.
this, we do the dedication merits.
Yes, dear Rinpoche, could you please bestow us a lung for a sadhana?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sanje Jodan Zoji Zonala, Chanju Pardo Daninja Zonja, Dagi Jinza, Jiva Zonanja, and Ola Benja Zanjandra. Sanje Jodan Zoja, Zanjandra, Dewadan, Devi, Jodan Dembra, Donga, the Donga, Judan, Donga Meve, Dewadan, Mirava, Judan, Yeren, Chadan, Yadan, Danyola, Nebra, Joro, Simjan Tamji, Yudun, Zoba, Sanji, Yagoma, Dobraj. Dijudu daga samu lam nyam jalan wari jewa jawa siji kola chanza yaran yin dija gewa judu ne kanyin rewe du nga wedu megon jiwa palangan ji. Kanda nebe sudan rewe zo sosa jinan dewa jinyin ne so bema baza. Zozan jela dija doba yaran ge jiwa bema dan dewe du ge jiga jimdi ne ba do jazuma kondo kawa shaji chanyi do jidan chuwenzi. Yimla jiwa rewe yin chuge jima shabdo jo jima chunga jiwa ran re re daga wajin teye bana yim do jinyima kondo kama. Godan to banzama chayanga ya jamba nyamba je ji to ganda ya jingor ji no hongkar de le ze de xin xi ba tam ji tu ji ning wei ji ji de jian zhan ne hong la de zhen de da da sem jian tam ji ze go wa dong wa me ba na za be de ni de zhe me zo dan ji zhang yin da wan ze zo ji hong le de ze ba he ru gu ga da ne ye yun ji gu tam ji de ze ba da ge ji zhe ne ji ben nen de de tam ji tu gu na da ge ne be xiang ji ni de gan de ni de xu tam ji de ze gan wa ra ji om xin ben za ru ga za me ma no ba la he ru ga de na wa de ji me ba Sudo Shoyo Memba, Anurodo Memba, Subo Shoyo Memba, Zarwa Zidi Memba, Yaza, Zarwa Kama, Suda Mezida, Jire Kuru Hong, Ha Ho, Banga Benza Heruka, Mame Menza Heruka, Ma Zamaya Zado Aon Be, Dani Meje Momba, de Tamzele Nengayin, and Lama Gamzo, Jamsu, Zo, Do Jinzamba, the Tuya Jemada, and Zola, Kuzundo Zawa, the Lake, Tamzin Yambatam, Tolo, Shazo Digbatan, Jabanya, the Donga Jemel Sotam. Shangxian Dawan Zezu Doji Samba Yang Yu Shu Jiwa Nerang La Dim Rangi Lun Jan Zun Da Wuro Juro Gyawan Di Nyu Do Da Chen Jeju Doji Samba Drup Jinen Rawa Chik Yama Leva Diya Zalang Gora Sho. So let's do the rest of the dedication. Da deva benzaga homnesen me ale berada from the ocean but de herenda maya na je whatever mereda hever me obe begas de leveza Choda maya na je courage manju shenye wode ezama trabadra de laiwa following ode zamba aisha de ke ode mere Mede excellent bodhichitta tebe vedana yedanza vedha spimbo me yedengri rele vedadi genere